You ever have one of those nights where the world tries to remind you you're just a guest no matter how high you climb, no matter what you've achieved? Let me back up a sec because what happened to me 30,000 feet in the air still makes my hands shake a little, even now, though I keep my face calm, always calm. They say first class is about comfort, respect, a little luxury you pay for with your hard work. But the truth? Sometimes that cabin's just a theater, and a show isn't always what you signed up for. Picture this. I'm buckled in, eyes half on my tablet, half on the window, when the attendant swoops entry in hand, a rehearsed smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes and says, "Your dinner will be memorable." I glance down, and for a split second, the world feels off-kilter. What's on that plate isn't food. It's a joke, but a cruel one. A gelatinous, unidentifiable mess, barely dressed up with herbs, and right then, I know this is dog food. Served up to me, a black CEO, in a suit, in first class. You know what I mean? Outrage doesn't even begin to cover it, but I keep my cool. I always do. The flight attendant vanishes before I can ask a thing, but it doesn't matter. I can see the message, clear as day. Someone wanted to remind me I wasn't really welcome. Not in their eyes. Here's the thing, though. I'm not some rookie at being underestimated. I don't yell. I don't make a scene. I just hit that call button quiet, decisive, and wait. When the junior attendant, Devin, shows up, his face falls the second he smells what's on that tray. He leans in, whispers, "Sir, you need to report this." There's a tremor in his voice, a kid caught between doing his job and calling out something ugly in front of a cabin full of people who'd rather not know. I nod, thank him, and watch him slip away, heart pounding, but I don't show it. Instead, I pull out my phone, secure it with more passwords than most banks, and make a call. Not to a lawyer, not yet, but to a friend in high places. Because I know, right then, I can't let this slide. Not this time. Meanwhile, in the galley, Trent, the guy who served millions against the counter, thinking he's gotten his little payback. What he doesn't know is my quiet isn't surrender. It's a storm gathering. Within minutes, a dossier starts building. Complaints, red flags, a history of petty revenge and bitterness that goes back years, all of it buried by the airline to keep things smooth. But nothing stays hidden forever. Not when the right person's watching. I stand up, steady as you like, walk through the cabin, people glance over, curious, some pretending they don't see a thing, and I make my way to the cockpit. With one flash of my government-issued badge, I let the co-pilot know there's a liability in his cabin that needs dealing with before we land. The man's face goes from bored to nervous, and suddenly everyone's awake, but still nobody's saying a word. Back in the galley, Morris, the senior attendant, the type who doesn't mince words, confronts Trent. "Did you serve, Mr. Carter, anything not on the manifest?" Morris's voice could cut glass. Trent tries to stammers about a mistake, but it falls apart when Morris waves the catering manifest in his face. Tray 3, non-human food. Flagged. The room shrinks around Trent, and you can feel the shift crew members side-eyeing, passengers whispering. Maurice keeps going. This isn't just breaking the rules. This is a federal safety breach. Trent tries to explain, blames me for his brother losing a job at my company years ago, says he wanted me to feel less than human. But that's not justice. That's just spite, plain and simple. We land. No drama, no shouting. Just two officers in dark suits waiting, stepping onto the plane with all the quiet power of people who know exactly what they're doing. They escort Trent out, tell him his certification suspended. Passengers pretend to look at their phones. No one defends him. I sit there, breathing slow, steady, knowing I turned someone's small-minded insult into a storm they never saw coming. Weeks later, Falcon Air's investigation blows the lid off. Turns out, complaints against Trent were routinely buried. This incident forces change, real change. New training, anonymous reporting, accountability at every level. Devin, the young attendant who spoke up, gets promoted. And me? I keep pushing. Meetings with the board, talks with lawmakers, making sure nobody else gets to hide behind a uniform or a manifest. You'd think that'd be the end, right? Trent tries to rebuild, but everywhere he goes, his past follows him. Rejection after rejection. His brother, Raymond, lays it out for him, you wrecked your life, and you brought shame on the family. Trent spirals, the walls closing in, while the world he tried to belittle moves forward without him. Meanwhile, I make it my mission to transform the system, not just punish one man. I work with ethics committees, push for laws that make airlines report all complaints about crew, not just the ones that make the news. And Devin, now my right hand in the reform effort, helps me set the standard. We speak at Summit's room, full of executives and regulators. I show them a single image, a folded uniform cap beside an untouched tray. When a uniform becomes a mask for bitterness, the whole system is at risk. The room is quiet, and then applause breaks real, honest, not just for show. But here's the real twist. This wasn't just about me. This was about every passenger who's ever been told silently, or not so silently that they didn't belong. It was about every crew member, every whistleblower, every time someone was told to just let it go. The changes we started ripple outward to other airlines, adopt our reforms, new training programs, new protections. And Trent? Alone, out of work, legacy ruined, he realizes too late that what he thought was justice was just revenge, small, bitter, and ultimately self-destructive. In the end, I don't look for headlines. I just stand at my office window some nights, watching planes take off, each one carrying people who deserve dignity, not because they paid for it, but because it's right. That's real power, not loud, but lasting. So what would you have done? Would you have made a scene or stayed silent? Is justice about punishment, or is it about making sure the next person doesn't have to fight the same battle? Share your thoughts below. Tell me where you stand. Because stories like this aren't just mine. They're all of ours. And maybe, just maybe, that's how change really takes off.